Hi, and welcome to the program Bird Watching 101, How to Draw Birds. I'm Stacy Mora, a library associate at Gwinnett County Public Library. You may have seen my previous birding program in February about the great backyard bird count. In today's program, I will talk about the benefits of birding and show you in a few simple steps how to draw a bird. First, there are great benefits to getting outside and watching birds in nature. It's great physical fitness. You usually have to walk or hike in nature to see birds. It reduces stress. The positive impact of birding on lowering stress levels is mentioned time and again by birders. Reducing mental stress can help your physical health. Being immersed in a natural stimuli, including birds, bird songs, trees, and nature scenes, trigger the human parasympathetic nervous system and induce a state of relaxation. Birdwatching increases your mental fitness. It sharpens your eyes and ears. Birdwatching pulls you away from screens and gets you out into the fresh air, real life, and nature. It demands quiet attention to the world around you as you scan for your bird or contemplatively watch it go about its daily life. Areas where there are more birds equals people living there with less depression and anxiety. A study called Doses of Neighborhood Nature from Exeter University in the UK and the University of Queensland in Australia conclusively found people who live in areas with more birds had better mental health. Birdwatching also helps you practice mindfulness and meditation. Noticing and focusing on what is happening in the moment is a hallmark of birding, which requires constant and quiet, steady focus. Watching the head bob, the tail flick, and the hopping on the ground takes the watcher outside of their own consciousness. Add a bird song and it becomes an immersive sensory experience. Birdwatching also improves the community. Birding's appeal and easy access to get outside wherever you are to spend time in nature, it's available to everyone at all ages. Whether at work or school or at home, you can watch birds by yourself or with family and friends or in a community group. The Audubon Society has local chapters and groups offering bird watching programs throughout the year. Drawing birds can help you identify birds you don't know. That's how I started sketching birds. Famous birding author and illustrator David Allen Sibley explains watching and drawing birds like this. People often ask me which came first, my interest in drawing birds or watching birds. I have to answer both. The two things have always gone together for me, and they complement and support each other. Drawing forces me to look at a bird more completely and to ask questions that I would not have considered if I were just watching. In that sense, drawing becomes a way to interact with the bird. These are several of his books that are available in the Gwinnett County Public Library. Sibley's Birding Basics, The Sibley Guide to Birds, and the Sibley Field Guide to Birds of Eastern North America. So we're going to get started now. The simple supplies that you need are first a plain white paper or a journal. You need a pencil. You need an eraser. I prefer like the pink eraser. It doesn't leave black smudges. And if you like, colored pencils. That's all you need to get started. Let's watch now how David Allen Sibley does this in a short video. Here he's going to show us how to draw an American goldfinch. This is from the Audubon.org magazine, summer 2020.
Sibley, and today I'm going to show you how I draw an American goldfinch. This tiny bird is common from coast to coast across the U.S. and southern Canada. The males are a brilliant yellow color from about March through September. We'll begin with an oval for the body, close to horizontal. Then a circle for the head, balanced on top of the body. Add a long, narrow rectangle for the tail, coming straight out the back of the body. The wings are folded up against the side of the body. Begin just below the head and draw a long, narrow oval coming out the back of the body just above the tail. The bill is a triangle coming out of the middle of the head, and then we can start to smooth in the feathers of the body. The feathers all point backwards. Smooth transition from the head to the back, and a smooth transition from the head into the belly, and a little more fluffy at the back of the belly where the feathers end. Now we'll go back to the head. If you imagine a line coming straight through the middle of the bill and back into the head, the eye is just above that line and closer to the front of the head. Add some more details around the bill. The feathering extends onto the upper mandible, the upper part of the bill, and also the lower. So the bill has kind of a triangular base. Male American goldfinches have a black cap, and that black cap reaches from the eye to the base of the bill, and then goes up from the top of the eye right up to the crown. And you can color everything black above that line. The whole crown, forehead is black, and the eye is dark. Now we can do some work on the wings. The wing coverts on the forward part of the wing form a diagonal line across the wing. The tips are white and the rest of the feather is black, so we'll outline that white area forward of the tips of the wing coverts. Then the feathers overlap the front end of the wing, and feathers from the back overlap the top of the wing. So you can color the wing coverts all black except for those white tips that you outlined. Then the rear part of the wing is formed by the big flight feathers, the long straight feathers going right back to the tail. So draw a bunch of parallel lines there. Those feathers are also all black, but some have white edges, so they look more black at the base. I'm coloring in a little black patch at the base of the feathers, close to the wing coverts. And the tip of the wing has a little step down where the secondaries, the big wing feathers closer to the body, end, and then the very tip of the wing, the long point of the wing, is formed by the longest feathers on the outer part of the wing. The tail is also long parallel feathers, so just draw some straight lines going back along the tail to indicate those feathers. We'll add some shading on the underside of the body, a little shadow under the wing, and then shadowing across the belly. And add a little shadow under the chin. And finally, this bird is balanced over its feet. If you imagine a line where the body of the bird would balance, put the feet right there. And little toes gripping the branch. And then the leg angles backwards from the foot to meet the body. And we'll add a small branch for this goldfinch to perch on, and a little shading on the branch. And there is an American goldfinch. Now you can continue to add more details to your sketch or add some color. Have fun with it, and don't forget to share what you've created.
So, to get started, you want to start with big shapes. You want to take your paper and pencil and first sketch a large oval, and then a smaller circle like this to represent the bird's body and head. In step 2, you want to add the tail. Next, you want to add the wing. And then in step 4, you're going to lightly feather the outline and add the nose, the beak, excuse me. In step 5, you're going to add the eye and more feathering. And then in step 6, you're going to add the crown and darken it. Here you want to add more wing details. This is also a good time to get a picture of the actual bird. From this point on, I have to have a picture of the bird in front of me, either from a book or an online image. A great birding website to use for images is the www.allaboutbirds.org from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. Ornithology means the scientific study of birds. And here's a picture of the American goldfinch. Next comes the shading of the wing and the wing tip. You want to add the tip on the end of the wing and start feathering it in. In step 11, you're going to shade the tip of the tail and add feathering to the under part of the belly. Last but not least, you want to add the leg and the foot. And then you're going to add the branch for the bird to perch on. And then you just shade it in. And that's really it as far as just sketching the bird. You've now drawn an American goldfinch. At this point, you can add more details and color, which is what I like to do. And I did that here in this photograph. This is the American goldfinch after I colored it in with just basic colored pencils. I included more birds here for you to sketch. Remember, you want to start with the oval body and then the circle on top of it as the head. Next, you always want to add the tail and the wing, and then you add the details of the bird. Here you see on the left the black-capped chickadee, my mom's favorite bird, and then on the right is the great horned owl. In these two drawings I added color. On the left is the salt marsh sparrow, which is only found in tidal salt marshes along the Atlantic coast of the United States. It breeds along the northern coast from Maine to the Chesapeake Bay, and it winters on the southern coast from North Carolina to Florida. On the right is one of my favorite birds, the ruby-throated hummingbird. The male bird has the red throat, not the female. Again, these are birds that you can sketch. Before we end the program, I want to give you 7 bird watching tips. First, when watching birds, you need to be still, quiet, and patient. Following a single bird can lead to larger flocks. And tip 3, wear dark colors or earth tones to blend into the background. Tip 4, study habitats for different species, such as in fields or thickets, thick grass, or in trees. Tip 5, for better viewing, put your back to the sun. Tip 6, use binoculars. That way you can see the small little details. Tip 7, sketch the unknown birds to identify later. If you're outside, such as on the beach, and you want to sketch out a seagull to go back home to get your bird book to identify the bird, you can do that by sketching the bird while you're there at the beach, and then when you get home, get your book and look at the details. That will help you identify it. These are some great birding books available at Gwinnett County Public Library. The first one is The New Birder's Guide to Birds of North America by Bill Thompson III. The second, Birds, Art, Life by Keogh McClure. And the third book, Peterson's Field Guide to Birds by Roger Torrey Peterson. Some more books for younger kids. This would be ages 10 to 18. You have The Young Birder's Guide, Birds Flying High, The World of Birds. And then for even younger children, we have some great bird books at Gwinnett County Public Library. This book, Birds from Head to Tail, and another book, My Book of Birds. These are the bird books from David Allen Sibley, available at Gwinnett County Public Library. Siblings Birding Basics, The Sibley Guide to Birds, and The Sibley Field Guide to Birds of Eastern North America. So thank you for watching. Go outside and spend some time in nature, watching birds, and start drawing birds. Attached to the program on the GCPL website, you can also find some fun coloring pages to print and to color. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more birding programs.